High above the Andes, a boy rang bells that echoed like gentle thunder through the clouds. Welcome to the channel. And tonight we climb into the Peruvian heights of Cusco in the early 1500s, where a young bell ringer called the mountains to sleep. Long ago, in the high Incan city of Cusco, nestled between snow-dusted peaks and valleys, lived a boy named Taita. Unlike most children of the empire, Taita's home wasn't a house with walls of stone and thatched roof, but a small stone tower high above the great temple of the sun god, Inti. Every evening, as the light bled from the sky, Taita would climb the winding stairs of his tower, ascend through the clouds, and ring the 5 sacred bells. Each strike chimed on high, like a clear note ringing through the stillness until the sound died away into the growing darkness. The locals believed that these bells spoke to the spirits of the mountains, and the spirits listened, coiling the winds and calming the clouds. As the last notes faded into the twilight, the stars would pierce the dark, and the night would settle over the valley below. One evening, as Tata began his ritual, the wind rose through the temple below, whipping across the plaza, snatching thatch from rooftops and sending cloaks billowing through the streets. Dark clouds boiled overhead, churning and twisting, until the first fat drops of rain splattered onto the stones. By the time Taita reached his tower, the storm raged above him, shaking the very stones beneath his feet. Taking a deep breath, he stepped up to the largest bell, its surface cool and smooth beneath his small hands. He closed his eyes and rang out the first note. It was a call to the spirits of the mountain, an entreaty for calm, and it rang out over the fury of the storm. But the winds only seemed to scream back at him, whipping around the tower and drowning out his song. Unfazed, Titata continued to ring the bell, each note trembling slightly as the storm buffeted him. For a moment, it seemed as if the bells were winning. For the space immediately above the tower, the clouds parted slightly, revealing a sliver of the star-studded sky. Encouraged, Taita climbed higher to the next bell. Its surface was rougher, scored with lines that sang of the winds and whispered of forgotten stories. Tata tightened his grip and rang. The note was higher, more delicate than the lower bell, and it wove itself through the chaos below. The space around the second bell also cleared, and Taita could see more of the night sky peeping through the hole in the clouds. Still, the storm raged around him. The wind snatched at his cloak, pulling it like a kite string as the rain lashed against the tower. But Tata knew that what he was doing was important. If he could get the spirits of the mountains to listen, they would calm the storm and bring peace to the people below. It was the hardest to ring, for it needed the gentlest touch to coax out its song. Yet Tata had practiced this melody hundreds of times, and his fingers flew across the clapper, setting the bell singing a wavering, lilting tune. It was a song without words, yet the spirits understood it. They heard it above the howling winds and the drumming rain, and as the tiny bell sang, something wondrous happened. The storm began to slow. The winds sighed and the rain softened to a gentle patter. Above, the clouds parted, revealing the first pinpricks of starlight. Taita wasn't finished. Not only did the spirits of the mountains need to hear the song, but the stars in the sky did too. So when the biggest bell tolled, the little one sang, and when the little bell sang, the stars shone down and listened. Tata climbed higher to the 4th bell, which hung suspended between the heavens and earth. Its song was strong and resonant, full of the power of the mountains and the promise of the coming dawn. He rang it once, twice, then began a slow, lilting melody that soared above the valley. And as the fourth bell sang, the sky began to lighten. The clouds, which had been boiling and churning moments before, now drifted by like ships on a still pond. Below, the people of Cusco stirred from their homes, peeking out at the sudden calm after the raging storm. The clouds above them parted, revealing a sky full of stars. But Tata wasn't finished. There was one last bell, the largest and most important of all. It was made of pure gold and hung suspended above the clouds, its song echoing the heartbeat of the mountains. Tata ascended the final stairs, his heart pounding in his chest. He stepped up to the great bell and rang. It tolled once, twice, then burst into a song so powerful it shook the very foundations of the world. The people of Cusco looked up, startled by the sound. Above them, the clouds parted, revealing not just a glimpse of the sky, but the entire constellation of the Southern Cross. As the great bell sang, the night was rent asunder, and the spirits of the mountains, hearing their sacred song, gathered themselves to the peaks, coiling the winds and calming the clouds. When the bell fell silent, the people of Cusco gasped as the clouds above them swirled and shifted into shapes of jaguars, condors, and serpents, dancing and playing across the darkening sky. These were the cloudbirds, messengers of the gods, come to carry the greetings of the mountains to the people below. And as the cloudbirds swirled, the first rays of dawn touched the eastern peaks, painting them with hues of pink and orange. The light spread, chasing away the remnants of the night and awakening the valley below. Tita watched the spectacle before him, his heart swelling with pride. He had calmed the storm and brought peace to the land. He had wrung the mountains to sleep and ushered in the dawn. When the first light touched his face, Tata turned from the spectacle to see that he wasn't alone. At the base of the tower stood a group of elders, their faces etched with admiration. They had watched him from Cusco, silently judging his every move. For Tata's position was an important one, and many boys dreamed of climbing the bell tower and calling the mountains to sleep. But being chosen was another matter entirely. To become the official bell ringer, a boy had to be brave, quick-witted, and gifted with music, and Tata had proven himself worthy. One of the elders stepped forward, his face creased into a kind smile. He placed a hand on Tata's shoulder and said, "You have done well, Tata. You have calmed the storm and brought peace to the valley. From this day forward, you are officially the bell ringer of Cusco." Tata's heart soared. He had finally been recognized, not just as a helper, but as an official part of the community. He looked out at the valley below, now bathed in the golden light of dawn. The people were stirring, readying themselves for the day ahead. The storm was gone, and peace had returned. He had done his duty. Tata smiled, feeling the satisfaction of a job well done. He had rang the mountains to sleep, and the people below were waking to a brand new day. As the first rays of sunlight touched his face, Tata knew that his work was done for now. The mountains were quiet, the stars were hidden, and the people below were stirring to life. With a final glance at the bells, Tata climbed down the tower, eager to explore the wonders of his world. After all, in a city as magical as Cusco, there was always something new to discover. Tata skipped down the stairs, his heart filled with the joy of youth and the excitement of a day well begun. And as he made his way through the bustling streets, he couldn't help but smile. For he was more than just a helper or an apprentice. He was the official bell ringer of Cusco, and the mountains themselves had listened to his song. Thanks for tuning in to my video. If you enjoyed it, Please give it a thumbs up, drop a comment, and hit that subscribe button for your daily dose of bedtime stories.